everybody, I'm Sara Gallegos from So Positively Sara, and it is one of my favorite times of year, National Serger Month. So I'm so excited that Baby Lock asked me to share with you a quick and easy serger project so that you can get rolling on your serger too. We're here in my store, Decorative Stitch in Shelby Township, Michigan, and I am working on the Triumph Serger. And what I'd like to share with you is how quickly and easily you can put together a cute little zipper pouch. All you need to create this project is a placemat. I bought some cool quilted placemats from the store and a zipper, and then if you want a little tab, it could be a ribbon or a piece of ready-made bias, anything like that, to create a little tab. A couple of other handy notions: I've always got my Wonder Clips handy when I'm working with my serger, extra needles, a marking pen, and a ruler, and the cording foot. I absolutely love the cording foot on my serger because it's got a little groove on the underside of the foot. It's designed for stitching cording and doing custom cording on anything that you want to add it to, but it's also perfect for installing a zipper. So here I've got a couple of different pouches that I've made, kind of my evolution as I was creating this project. One stands a little taller, one's a little flatter, and I'm happy to have these because I think these are going to be really great end of year teacher gifts for me. So I'm going to get these out of the way, and what I've got is my ready-made placemat. If it has a binding on it, a bound edge, you want to just go ahead and cut that off before you get started so that it's out of the way. And then we need our zipper. And when you're working with zippers on your serger, there are only two rules you need to follow. Number one, you want to make sure that you've got a polyester zipper, so no metal teeth on your zipper, because we are going to be stitching right through the zipper and we don't want the metal to hit the blade. That would damage the blade. The second rule is to make sure that your zipper is longer than the project that you're working on. A couple inches is fine, but I like to give myself, say, 4 or 6, just because it makes it easier for me. Once again, we want to make sure that we avoid all metal with the blade of our zipper. So if it's close to the same size as the project, you might hit the zipper pull or the zipper stop that's at the end of the zipper. So again, make sure it's nice and long. Now we're ready to get started. So I'm going to take my zipper, and you want to decide which side of your placemat is going to be the right side, or the exterior of your zipper pouch. It's reversible fabric, so you can pick and choose. I'm going to use this pretty floral as the outside of mine. And I'm going to flip my zipper over so that it's right sides together. The right side of your zipper is where the teeth are. So the teeth are touching the side of the fabric that I want to be the exterior. Then I'm going to line up the zipper tape, so that's the outside edge, with the short cut edge on my little placemat, and then use a couple of Wonder Clips to hold it in place. I always encourage you to use Wonder Clips instead of pins because, again, we avoid metal at all costs with our serger. So now I'm going to unzip my zipper, and we are ready to stitch the first side on. So we're going to kind of come around here. And when I insert my zipper into the cording foot, on the first side, I don't have to worry too much about the placement from the short edges or the long edges of my placemat. But what I've done is I've slid the zipper teeth right into the groove on my cording foot. If I lift that up, maybe you can kind of see that. And I've got the tape along the cut edge of my placemat, and my zipper is just going to slide right through the foot. Pull those clips out. So I'm at the end of my placemat, and because my zipper is extra long, I can literally just pull it to the side and then just serge right on off. Just like that. Now that I've got the first side of my zipper attached, I'm going to close the zipper. And this is where we want to make sure we line things up pretty straight. So I'm closing the zipper all the way, and now I'm going to fold my placemat over itself, and I'm going to bring that other short raw edge right up against the other side of my zipper tape. And what we're looking for here is we want to make sure that the raw edges line up nicely on the sides of our placemat. If it's shifted, you're going to have a funny edge. So you want to make sure that they're nice and straight, just like this. And then once again, use your Wonder Clips, and this is where I use a few of them to really hold everything in place And again, to make sure that those side edges stay together. I love these Wonder Clips. I call them Serger savers because they prevent me from wrecking that blade. If you're careful with your blade and avoid running over pins or any kind of metal with your Serger blade, you'll find that you'll get a lot of use out of that blade. I've never had to replace mine on my Serger. There we go. We'll put one more here at the edge. Okay, there we go. Now that I've got it clipped in place, I'm going to open my zipper back up again. There we go, just like that. And now we are ready to stitch the second side. So you're just going to kind of press the other end of the placemat right out of your way. Got a few materials to wrangle here. And then we want to try and get this into the serger without adjusting the placement of our zipper. And this is where I love that I have a knee lift on my Triumph serger here, because I don't have to take my hands out of my project while I'm maneuvering all of those layers under my foot. There we go. I'm just going to lift my needles up real quick here so I can get the zipper in there. There we have it. Line it all up, drop that foot back down, and now we are ready to stitch the second side. There we go. And you probably noticed that I am cutting a little bit off as I stitch. I always feel like my serger's happy when it's cutting. It's kind of the quality control department. I make sure I've got enough fabric in there to fill my stitches. Now we're going to zip this back up again. And this is where we get to kind of decide, do you want the zipper at the top of your pouch? If you do, you're going to stitch right down the side edges just like this. But before you do that, make sure that you open up your zipper. Because, number one, if you were to stitch the short edge now, you'd cut your zipper pull right off, and that's kind of frustrating. And you need to be able to turn it right sides out. So you want to work with your zipper at least a couple of inches open. I'm going to fold my fabric down so that my zipper lays right in the center, and that's going to give me a little different style zipper pouch. And now I'm going to stitch right down both of the short edges. And as you are stitching this edge, just try and make sure that your zipper stays together. The force of the foot might try to separate those two open ends, so you could put a couple clips in there to make sure it holds together nicely and just keep it from shifting. So here we go. Once again, I'm just going to lift with my knee lift, and we'll stitch. So one edge is done, and I cut the excess zipper off right as I went. Because it's a polyester zipper, that's totally safe. Now we're going to do this edge, and before I begin, just going to put in a couple of clips so that my zipper teeth kind of stay together. There we go. One side, and we'll kind of push this guy in there. And there we have it. So I'm going to trim off some of these excess thread tails. We are almost done. Is this the fastest zipper pouch? I love doing zippers on my serger because it's so much faster. So I'm going to kind of reach in here a little bit, open it up just a little bit more. Now's my favorite part. We get to do the boxed corners. So I'm going to just give it a nice little press along my side edges. And to box those corners, we're going to reach inside, and you want to bring your side edge here up against the bottom seam there, just like this, and you create a bit of a point at the end. So you end up with something that looks a little bit funny. And I like to work from the seam allowance side. And this is where you can kind of customize your project. If you want it to stand tall, you're going to take a deeper box. If you want it to be a little bit shallower of a pouch, you're going to take a little bit narrower bite out of the fabric for your box. I'm going to do mine about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to line up the, maybe we'll do 2 inches, the 2-inch mark, and I'm running my edge of my ruler right along my seam allowance so that I know that I'm staying nice and straight in my corner. Then I'm going to give it a mark. And we want to stitch all the way across that edge nice and straight. Just like that. We're going to take it right to the serger and stitch, and it's going to cut off the excess corner as we go. There we go. So lift it up, and I'm going to run my blade right along my cut or my marked line. Now, I'm going to repeat the same exact process on the other 3 corners. So I'll fold my point. I'm going to find my 2-inch mark. So I'm measuring 2 inches from the point of my triangle there. Give myself a straight line. There we go. If I'm doing a real shallow box, I oftentimes just kind of eyeball this step. Here's the second one. Now we'll find the 3rd edge. And if you start to lose your crease, just give it a finger press. Fold it down again. And we have it. My tools here, 2 inches, make it straight. I think I'm fairly straight. There we go. There's that one. And our final edge. So 2 inches from the point. Give myself a straight line. There we go. Okay, now when I sewed my side seams, I meant to add my little tab in there and I forgot to do that. But when you sew your sides here, you can always insert a little tab so you've got a little zipper pull. Now that everything is stitched and I've boxed all 4 of my corners, I'm just going to cut off some of these threads. You can always go through and bury them with a double-eyed needle too if you're concerned about having those thread tails inside of your project. There we go. And now we get to turn it inside out or right side out. I like to just kind of push in on the ends of my seams as I'm flipping it. Just like that. Feels like you're kind of manhandling your project when you turn them right sides out, doesn't it? Okay. And there we have it. Our cute little zipper pouch with boxed corners. And again, you can add a little tab to it. I might add one after the fact here. And I've got a fun, quick and easy little Serge zipper pouch that is perfect for Christmas gifts or teacher gifts or anytime you need a little project like this, maybe just a travel bag. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I've inspired you to create one for yourself. Be sure to share your photo at So Positively Sara on Facebook. I'd love to see what you come up with. And happy National Serger Month!